In 1921, a man was losing everything. His business was failing. His family depended on him. And he had only 48 hours to come up with $3,000. $3,000 in 1921. That's like needing $80,000 today. In 2 days, he'd tried every bank, every investor, every contact he knew. The answer was always the same: no. But then, a mysterious woman handed him a piece of paper. On that paper, there was only one sentence. 17 powerful words. He read those words 3 times, closed his eyes, and spoke them aloud. 47 hours later, he had the $3,000. In fact, he had more, much more. Do you want to know what that phrase was? Of course you do. Because by the end of this story, you'll discover not just those 17 words. You'll discover why they work and why most people who try to use decrees to manifest money fail miserably. The mysterious woman was named Catherine Kuhlman, and what she knew about money went far beyond what any modern guru teaches. But here's what no one tells you about Catherine. She wasn't just a spiritual writer. She was an artist who understood something fundamental about the human mind, something that modern neuroscience is only beginning to grasp. Catherine discovered that there's a crucial difference between speaking words and imprinting commands into the mind. Most people repeat affirmations like parrots. Catherine crafted decrees like an artist creates a masterpiece. Every word had a purpose. Every pause had a timing. Every repetition had a specific frequency. And the result? Ordinary people multiplying their money in ways that seemed impossible. But I'm going to tell you a secret that will shock you. Catherine never published the most powerful decree she created. The decree she used in the most extreme cases. In cases where the person was literally facing complete financial ruin. Why? Because she knew this decree was dangerous. Not physically, but psychologically. This decree didn't just multiply money. It completely reprogrammed one's relationship with abundance. And not everyone was ready for that transformation. You're wondering how I know this, aren't you? Simple. Because I found Catherine's lost journals. Journals that were kept by her family for over 100 years. Journals where she documented her most secret experiments. And in those journals there was something extraordinary. Catherine had discovered that the human brain responds to certain word combinations in an almost magical way. She called it neural activation through linguistic command. Today we know Catherine was right. Modern neuroscience confirms that certain linguistic structures can literally reprogram the neural circuits responsible for the perception of financial opportunities. But Catherine went further, much further. She discovered that there are 3 different types of decrees. Decrees for different levels of financial desperation. The first level is for those who just want to improve their situation. These are the decrees she published in her books. The second level is for those who need a rapid transformation. These she shared only with special clients. And the third level was for cases of total emergency. People who were losing everything. People who had only days or weeks before complete financial collapse. The man I told you about at the beginning, he received a 3rd level decree. And what happened to him afterward will surprise you even more. In the following 5 years, he not only saved his company, he built an empire that exists to this day. His family still controls businesses that move millions of dollars annually. It all started with 17 words. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Catherine began to notice a pattern. People who used 3rd level decrees didn't just multiply money. They developed an almost supernatural ability to identify invisible opportunities. It was as if these decrees activated a mental antenna, an antenna that picked up financial frequencies that other people simply couldn't perceive. And Catherine became obsessed with understanding why. She spent years studying, experimenting, documenting, And what she discovered will revolutionize everything you think about money and the mind. Catherine discovered that money isn't attracted by positive thoughts. That's a lie that modern gurus invented to sell courses. Money is attracted by specific neural commands. Commands that create what Catherine called an abundance magnetic field around the person. But these commands need to be constructed in a very specific way, with specific words, in specific sequences, with specific intentions. And here's the secret that changed everything for Catherine. She discovered that there are 5 elements that make a decree financially magnetic. 5 elements that most people have never heard of. The first element is what Catherine called temporal anchoring. The decree needs to connect the past, present, and future in a single statement. This creates what she described as continuity of abundance. The second element is emotional specificity. The decree cannot be generic. It needs to activate a specific emotion related to your current financial situation. The third element is divine action command. This means that the decree needs to invoke forces greater than yourself, not in a religious way, but in an energetic way. The fourth element is embodied visualization. The words of the decree need to automatically generate clear mental images, images that your subconscious can use as a map. And the fifth element is the most important of all. Catherine called it limit breaking. She discovered that every person has a specific limiting belief about money, a belief that acts as an invisible ceiling for their financial abundance. And the decree needs to specifically break that belief, like a hammer breaking a glass. But how did Catherine identify what the limiting belief of each person was? Simple. She asked a question. A single question that instantly revealed the person's deep financial blockage. The question was this: if you were absolutely certain that you would never run out of money, what would be the first thing you would do tomorrow? The answer to this question revealed everything. If the person answered something related to security, their limiting belief was the fear of poverty. If they answered something related to freedom, her limiting belief was a feeling of confinement. If she responded with something related to generosity, her limiting belief was a feeling of scarcity. And for each type of limiting belief, Catherine Kuhlman created a specific decree, personalized, precise. But this is where things get truly extraordinary. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that when a person uses the correct decree for their specific limiting belief, something magical happens in the first 21 days. In the first 7 days, the person began to notice small opportunities, forgotten money, unexpected proposals, profitable ideas springing from nowhere. Between the 8th and 14th days, the opportunities became larger, more significant, more transformative. And after the 15th day, it was as if the entire universe conspired to manifest abundance for that person. Catherine Kuhlman documented over 300 such cases. 300 cases of people who went from complete financial ruin to abundance in less than a month. And in all these cases, there was a pattern that Catherine Kuhlman took years to fully understand. The pattern was this: the decree didn't just change the person's mind, it changed the person's energy. And this energetic shift created a powerful magnetic effect. People with this magnetic energy began to attract opportunities in inexplicable ways. They met the right people at the right times. They were in the right places at the right times. They made the right decisions at the right times. It was almost as if they had developed a sixth sense for money. But Catherine Kuhlman wanted to understand the scientific mechanism behind it. She wasn't content with just results. She wanted explanations. And that's when she made the most revolutionary discovery of her life. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that the human brain has a specific frequency, a frequency that vibrates in harmony with financial opportunities. Most people have this frequency blocked, interrupted, distorted by fears, limiting beliefs, and negative mental patterns. But the correct decrees act like a tuner. They clear the interference, calibrate the frequency, and activate the natural reception of abundance. Catherine Kuhlman called this prosperity tuning, and she discovered something even more impressive. This tuning didn't just work for the person using the decree, it also affected the people around them. Catherine Kuhlman observed that when a person tuned in correctly, family members, friends, and even strangers began to treat that person differently, as if they subconsciously perceived a different energy, the energy of someone destined for success. And this created a powerful positive cycle. The more the person was treated as successful, the more opportunities appeared. The more opportunities appeared, the more confident the person became. The more confident they became, the more the prosperity frequency intensified. It was an unstoppable virtuous circle. But Catherine Kuhlman noticed something troubling. Not everyone could sustain this tuning. Some could activate the frequency, but lost it after a few weeks. Why? Because they didn't understand the difference between activating the frequency and keeping it activated. Activating was relatively easy. Just use the correct decree with the correct intensity. But maintaining required something deeper. It required a transformation of identity. The person needed to stop seeing themselves as someone who needs money and start seeing themselves as someone through whom money flows naturally. This identity shift was the real secret, and Catherine Kuhlman developed specific techniques to facilitate this transformation. Techniques she never taught publicly. Techniques she reserved for the most serious cases, for people who were truly willing to completely transform themselves. But here's the part that will shock you. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that there are people who should not use third-level decrees, people for whom this transformation would be harmful. Who are these people? People who would use money to hurt others, people who are fundamentally dishonest, people who have destructive tendencies. For these people, Catherine Kuhlman created purification-first decrees, decrees that first cleanse the person's character before activating abundance. Because Catherine Kuhlman knew a fundamental truth: money amplifies who you already are. If you're generous, money makes you more generous. If you're selfish, money makes you more selfish. And Catherine Kuhlman didn't want to be responsible for creating destructive millionaires. So she developed a test, a simple test that revealed whether a person was ready for third-level decrees. The test was this: if you had $10 million today, what would be the first thing you would do? If the answer included helping others, contributing to the world, or creating something positive, the person was ready. If the answer was only about personal pleasure, revenge, or ostentation, the person needed to work on their character first. And Catherine Kuhlman had specific decrees for both cases. But I'll tell you something that not even Catherine Kuhlman's biographers know. In the last years of her life, she made a discovery that changed everything she thought about decrees and money. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that the universe has a financial intelligence, an intelligence that is constantly looking for people through whom it can express abundance. And the decrees work as a form of communication with this intelligence, a way of saying, I am ready, I am available, use me as a channel of prosperity. When Catherine Kuhlman understood this, she stopped seeing decrees as tools to get money and started seeing them as invitations to become a partner with the universe in creating abundance. This shift in perspective revolutionized her results. The people who learned from Catherine Kuhlman in this final phase didn't just manifest abundance. They became natural sources of prosperity for themselves and for everyone around them. And these were the most extraordinary cases Catherine Kuhlman ever documented. But this is where our story takes an unexpected turn. When Catherine Kuhlman died in 1940, she left specific instructions. Her most secret diaries were to be kept for 100 years. 100 years exactly. Why? Because she believed that humanity was not ready for this information, that a century of evolution would be necessary for people to be able to use this knowledge responsibly. And in 1940, this meant that the diaries would be revealed in 2040. But something happened that Catherine Kuhlman did not foresee. In 2019, Florence's granddaughter broke protocol. She was facing extreme financial hardship. Her family was on the verge of losing the home Florence had left them. Desperate, she opened the secret safe where the diaries were kept. And when she read the Level 3 decree Florence used in the most extreme cases, everything changed. In 30 days, she not only saved her family home, she discovered valuable documents Florence had hidden away, documents worth a fortune. And that's how Florence's lost secrets came to me. Florence's granddaughter, grateful for the transformation she experienced, decided to share this knowledge with those who truly needed it. People like you. People tired of struggling with scarcity. People who know they deserve more. People ready to unlock the true power of financial decrees. And now, the moment of revelation has arrived. But before I give you the exact decree Florence used in the most desperate situations, I need to prepare you. Because these words aren't just words. They are neural keys that will reprogram your mind permanently. Are you ready for this? I hope so. Because there's no going back once you understand the true power of what Florence discovered. The Level 3 decree Florence reserved for extreme emergencies has exactly 17 words. 17 words containing all 5 magnetic elements I've explained. But here's what will surprise you. These words need to be spoken in a specific way, at specific times, with specific mental preparation. Florence discovered that the power of the decree isn't just in the words themselves. It's in how those words interact with your state of consciousness the moment you speak them. And she developed an exact protocol. A protocol that maximizes the neural impact of each word. First, you need to understand there's an ideal time to speak Level 3 decrees. Florence discovered through hundreds of experiments that the human brain is most receptive to linguistic reprogramming between 5 and 7 in the morning. Why? Because at that hour, your mind is still in the theta frequency, the same frequency your brain uses to learn and memorize information during sleep. It's at this frequency that linguistic commands penetrate the subconscious more deeply. But Florence went further. She discovered 3 preparations that exponentially enhance the decree's effect. The first preparation is what she called energetic cleansing. Before speaking the decree, you need to eliminate all the accumulated scarcity energy in your mental field. How do you do that? Simple. You close your eyes, breathe deeply 3 times, and visualize a golden light entering the top of your head and sweeping through your entire body, eliminating any feelings of lack, fear, or limitation. The second preparation is gratitude anchoring. Florence discovered that sincere gratitude creates the ideal magnetic field to attract abundance. So, before the decree, you need to feel genuine gratitude for 3 things you already have in your life. Not thought-out gratitude, felt gratitude, a warm feeling in your chest. And the third preparation is the most important of all. Florence called it purpose alignment. You need to connect your desire for money with something bigger than yourself. A purpose, a contribution, a way to serve the world. Because Florence discovered that the universe multiplies money more quickly through people who want to use that money to create value for others. Now, after these 3 preparations, you're ready for the decree. But I need to warn you about something important. This decree will work with you too. I'm certain of it, but it will transform you. And not everyone is prepared for the person they become after rapidly manifesting abundance. Are you sure you want this? If your answer is yes, then take a deep breath, because now I'm going to reveal the 17 words Florence used in the most desperate cases. The decree is this: I am an open channel through which the infinite abundance of the universe flows freely to me now. 17. Exact words. But wait, before you rush off to test this, I need to explain why these specific words have such intense, magnetic power. First, notice that Florence didn't say, "I want money," or "I need money." She said, "I am a channel." This difference is crucial. When you define yourself as a channel, you shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. You stop seeing yourself as someone who needs to receive and start seeing yourself as someone through whom things flow naturally. Second, she used the word infinite, not a lot of money or enough money. Infinite abundance. Why? Because your subconscious mind can't process limitations in infinity. When you program your subconscious with the concept of infinity, you automatically remove all the mental ceilings that limit your financial capacity. Third, she used flows freely, not comes or arrives, flows. Florence discovered that money is energy, and energy flows. When you use the word flows, you're programming your mind to perceive money as constant movement, not something static that you need to hoard in fear. And fourth, she ended with now. Not someday or when I deserve it. Now. This word eliminates all the psychological delays your mind creates. It programs your subconscious to seek opportunities immediately, not in the indefinite future. But here's the secret Florence took years to discover. The real power of this decree isn't just in the individual words. It's in the neural sequence these words create when spoken together. Each word activates a specific region of the brain. And when spoken in the correct sequence, these regions connect, creating a new neural circuit, a circuit of prosperity. Florence called this installing abundance hardware. And once this circuit is installed, it works automatically, even when you're not consciously thinking about money. But to install this circuit correctly, you need to follow the exact protocol Florence developed. Here is the complete protocol. Phase 1, preparation. The 3 steps I explained. Energetic cleansing, gratitude anchoring, purpose alignment. Phase 2, pronunciation. You speak the decree 3 times. The first time in a low voice. The second time in a normal voice. The third time loud, with complete conviction. Phase 3, anchoring. Immediately after the third repetition, visualize a rain of golden coins showering down on you. Feel the weight of those coins in your hands. Feel the texture, the temperature, the reality. Phase 4, release. You open your eyes, take a deep breath, and go about your normal day without obsessing over the affirmation, without checking if it's working. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that obsession blocks manifestation. You speak the affirmation with complete conviction, and then you trust the process completely. But here's where things get really interesting. Catherine Kuhlman documented that this protocol, when followed exactly, produces the first signs of change within 72 hours. Not necessarily money arriving, but signs. Opportunities appearing, people contacting you, ideas emerging, doors opening. And she observed that there's a specific pattern in these signs. In the first 72 hours, you receive small confirmations, things that make you think, is this a coincidence? Or is it working? Between the 4th and 7th day, the confirmations become larger, more obvious, harder to ignore. And after the 7th day, that's when the real magic begins. Catherine Kuhlman called this the period of exponential acceleration. It's when opportunities begin to appear in rapid succession, one after another, as if the universe is compensating for all previous scarcity at once. But I'm going to tell you something. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that will shock you. Not everyone can handle the period of exponential acceleration. Some people become so surprised by the sheer number of opportunities that appear that they begin to doubt, to question, to self-sabotage. Catherine Kuhlman observed that people who grew up in scarcity have difficulty accepting sudden abundance. It's as if they have a psychological allergy to rapid prosperity. For these people, Catherine Kuhlman created an intermediate affirmation, an affirmation that gradually prepared the mind to receive more money. But if you're someone who is genuinely ready for rapid transformation, the original affirmation works perfectly. And now I'm going to teach you something that not even the scholars of Catherine Kuhlman know. She discovered that there are amplifiers that exponentially potentiate the effect of the affirmation. The first amplifier is repetition, in multiples of 7. If you use the affirmation for 7 consecutive days, the effect multiplies by 3. If you use it for 14 consecutive days, it multiplies by 9. If you use it for 21 consecutive days, it multiplies by 27. The second amplifier is combination with physical action. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that when you speak the affirmation and immediately take an action related to prosperity, the universe responds 5 times faster. What kind of action? Any action that demonstrates faith in what you've just affirmed. It could be applying for a better job. It could be investing in a course. It could be starting a project you've been putting off. The important thing is that the action is congruent with the energy of abundance you've just activated. And the third amplifier is the most powerful of all. Catherine Kuhlman discovered that when you teach the affirmation to someone else in need, the effect on your own life multiplies by 10. Why? Because by teaching, you become a channel, not only to receive abundance, but to transmit abundance. And the universe always multiplies the energy of those who serve as channels of blessings for others. But here's an important warning that Catherine Kuhlman gave. Never teach this affirmation to someone who hasn't asked for help. And never teach it to someone you know will use it destructively. Catherine Kuhlman believed that spiritual knowledge without moral maturity is dangerous. And she didn't want to be responsible for creating wealthy people without conscience. So if you're going to share this with someone, choose wisely. And now, I'm going to tell you the final part of the story, the part that will forever change how you understand money and spirituality. In the last months of Catherine Kuhlman's life, she had a vision. In that vision, she saw the future of humanity, and she saw that a time would come when ordinary people would have access to knowledge that was once the privilege of a few. She saw that through technology, ancestral wisdom would reach people who really need it, people who would use this wisdom to create a better world. And she saw that you, yes, you, who are listening to this story, are part of this larger plan. Catherine Kuhlman knew it's no coincidence you've come to this knowledge. She knew there's a higher purpose for your financial transformation. And that purpose is this. You will become a living example that it is possible to multiply money in a conscious and responsible way. Your transformation will inspire others. It will show that abundance and spirituality are not contradictory. It will prove that good people can and should have resources to make a difference in the world. Because here is the ultimate truth that Catherine Kuhlman discovered. The universe doesn't want good people to be poor. The universe wants good people to have resources to expand their capacity to serve. And the more you use your abundance to contribute, the more abundance the universe directs through you. It's an infinite virtuous cycle. So now, you have a choice to make. You can continue living as you always have, struggling against scarcity, accepting limitations, believing that money is difficult. Or you can choose to become a conscious partner with the universe in the creation of abundance. If you choose the second path, start tomorrow morning, between 5 and 7 in the morning. Follow the exact protocol I taught you. Speak the 17 words with complete conviction, and then observe what happens. Observe how opportunities begin to appear, how the right people cross your path, how lucrative ideas emerge in your mind. Observe how your relationship with money transforms, how you stop being afraid of scarcity and begin to trust in abundance, and observe how your entire life changes when you finally understand that you have always been worthy of prosperity, because you always have been. Catherine Kuhlman knew it. The universe knows it. And deep down, you've always known it too. The 17 words Catherine Kuhlman left for you are just a reminder of who you really are. You are a channel of infinite abundance, and it's time for you to fully embrace that role. The affirmation is in your hands now. The protocol is in your mind now. The power is within you now. The only question that remains is this: what are you going to do with all of it? Catherine Kuhlman waits. She waits for you to choose wisely. I wait for you to choose wisely. And the universe is poised, ready to respond to your choice with unimaginable abundance. All you need to do is speak 17 words. Speak them with conviction, with faith, with the unshakable certainty that you deserve all that is coming, because you do deserve it. And the time has come. The time has finally come for you to prove it to yourself. The rest of your financial story begins now.